Good morning, you guys. Happy Wednesday. Listen, you don't have a marketing problem, you have a work ethic problem. You don't have an algorithm problem, you have a work ethic problem. Okay, your work ethic sucks, but only when it comes to the business. Okay, I'm gonna give you some credit, I'm gonna give you some grace. See, your work ethic doesn't suck when it comes to your job. You show up every day, right? Your work ethic doesn't suck when it comes to your kids, okay? If you have kids, you show up for your kids. You're a great parent. But when it comes to you, your business, your goals, your dreams, your ideas, all of the things, that's when we have a serious work ethic problem. And until you fix that, you're going to continue to have that problem, okay? You are going to continue to have that problem. Just so you guys know, I'm wearing my Glow Up Academy shirt. I showed y'all yesterday. I got these off of an Etsy shop. They're so cute. This is branding at its finest, okay? Glow Up Academy. The link is down below in my description. Make sure you guys join, okay? So I'm going to be getting myself together per usual. I actually really enjoy these talks that we do first thing in the morning. I have so much more energy. I'm focused, motivated. I already got my steps in. I'm up. 6 a.m. I'm up, been up, ready for the day, ready to accomplish great things. I used to have a work ethic problem too, okay? We have a tendency to want to accomplish things because it sounds good. It sounds so cool to say I have a business, right? Especially with the way things are today, like with social media. More entrepreneurs were created during COVID than any other time period. And, it's because people didn't really have a choice. A lot of people had got laid off, right? Social media really took off during that time. People were home. People had to get creative. And so a lot of people started online businesses. And, that wave was waving for years. But then times got tougher. Money dried up, right? Economies started sucking. Prices got higher. And a lot of people had to close up shop. A lot of people who had built online businesses had to start going back to work because they didn't have all of the tools that they needed in order to be a successful online entrepreneur, okay? A lot of people, and you might be included in this, I don't know. A lot of people don't truly understand what it takes to be an online entrepreneur. And a lot of times in entrepreneurship, you have to pivot and quick. Things don't always stay working. You could have something that's working for you for 6 months. Then things might start slowing up. Now you got to hurry up and figure out what to do next. You can't stay stagnant if you want to survive in entrepreneurship. You have to keep pushing. You can't sit around and woe is me. You got to keep moving, right? Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. And I'm telling you this because if you don't get a grasp on your work ethic, you won't have an online business. You won't. See, during COVID, people had a lot of money, right? Stimulus checks, people were getting unemployment, people were getting like PPP loans, people was just rolling in dough, right? Just spending. But because people were spending, a lot of online businesses, it was easy for them to make money. They didn't really have to do too much because people had it, right? So you could be kind of lazy in your business and still make a lot of money because people was just spending money. Those days are long gone. Those days are all the way gone. And if you didn't learn the foundations of business during that time, I tell you what, that business crashed, okay? I didn't have half the knowledge that I have today back then because I started my online business during COVID too, okay? So I got to ride the wave of making a whole bunch of money and not having to do too much. I sure did. Because again, everybody had money. Everybody was stuck at home. Nobody really had nothing else to do but be on the internet, right? Because things were closed down. People didn't have jobs. So online business was thriving in 2020. You didn't have to do too much. You didn't even really have to know too much. You just kind of had to be there. You just had to talk about your product every now and again, and people was going to buy, right? But once all that stopped, you really had to learn some business skills, okay? You really had to learn how to market. You really had to learn how to sell. You really had to learn things. And a lot of people didn't take the time to learn those things. And that's why they had to go back to work. And there's no shade. You got to do what you got to do, right? If you got to go back to work, you got to go back to work. It is what it is. But I'm telling you this because if you want to be an online entrepreneur, you are going to have to develop work ethic. You don't have a choice, okay? You don't. You could go to work, and I used to do this too. I tell you this all the time. I had one of those jobs where if I didn't really feel like being there, I could float by, right? I could float through my shift. It won't nothing, right? Just kind of, I'm just here, right? I could half-ass work. I could, go outside 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, just kind of bullshit around. I could do that. I had that type of freedom at my job. So I could still half-ass my job and still get paid. A lot of people have those type of jobs. You have people who work from home, but they're not really working on their work. They're cooking, they're cleaning, they're online shopping. Sometimes they're at the store. So you may not have a lot of work ethic. Let's just be real. You might not have a lot of work ethic because you might have one of them jobs where they're not monitoring you 24/7. They're not up your ass. They're not micromanaging. So you can do what you want to do. Okay. But then what you do is you take that same lack of work ethic and you try to apply that to an online business. And then you're confused as to why your business isn't thriving. Well, it's not thriving because you have a work ethic problem. You can't skate by in the world of entrepreneurship. Not no more. Not in 2025. I told you could do that in 2020, but those times are long gone. You can't skate by in 2025. You sure can't. You are going to have to develop some serious work ethic if you really want a serious online business. And let me say something to you. When I say online business and entrepreneurship, I mean to where it's paying bills. Okay, we're not talking about $50 here, $10 here. No, we're talking about some real money. Okay, we're talking about thousands. If rent is $2,000, if your average car payment is almost $600, if we talking foods costing people $600 a month, we're talking real money here. Okay, we're not talking about some little nail money. We're not talking some money to get your lashes done. No, we're talking about some serious ass money with some commas. If you want to make that type of money, you're going to have to develop some work ethic. You're going to have to show up when it gets hard. You're going to have to push through even when you don't feel like it. You're going to have to keep going even if you're not getting the results that you want. You're going to have a clear mind. You're going to have a clear mind. Yes. A lot of y'all, your mind ain't clear. You focus on everything except the money. You focused on who said what. You focused on who don't like you. You focused on celebrity gossip. You focus on everything except the one thing that'll change your whole life. And then you wonder why your platforms aren't growing. You wonder why you're not getting sales. Well, you're not getting sales because you don't have work ethic and you're distracted as fuck. Sorry. Just telling you the truth. Just telling it like it is. I think the reason why you guys continue to tune in is because you like my rawness. You like the fact that I'm telling you the truth. You're not focused. You're not focused. And I wasn't focused either. When I first started, especially in 2020, because I told y'all everybody had money and I didn't really have to do too much for it. Like, y'all, I would wake up when I felt like it. And I would decide if I wanted to work on my business. Like, I would just decide, I'd be like, you know what? I don't feel businessy today. I'm going to go hang out outside. I'm going to go just bullshit around all day. I'm going to go to the mall and just shop. And, I didn't have any work ethic. At that time, I was going off of the mood and not the plan. And I had the freedom to do that because, again, everybody was spending money. I didn't have to have work ethic. But when that money dried up and people started going back to work and people started going outside again and people weren't on the internet like they used to be. I mean, they were still on the internet. Good morning. They were still on the internet, but not like how it was when shit was shut down. When the world started opening back up, that lack of work ethic shit, That didn't work out no more. That didn't work out. And I had to start developing work ethic. I had to start showing up for my online business. I didn't have a choice because the alternative was going back to work. And I told y'all that 9 to 5 gave me PTSD. And I knew for a fact, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to work. I knew that much. So that let me know I had to figure it out. I had to get disciplined as hell, okay? So I couldn't keep going off of the mood and not the plan. I had to have a schedule for my day. Yes, I'm live early. We start our day early around here. Getting myself together to start the day. That lack of work ethic, that wasn't going to fly anymore. I had to create a schedule for myself and stick to it. I had to really start promoting myself, like posting on social media, not just every day, but all day. Like I really had to buckle down. If I really didn't want to go back to work, if I really wanted this online business and I really, really wanted to pay my bills, I was going to have to move differently because what I was doing, it wasn't working no more. Like I said, people was going back to work. Places was opening back up. People was back outside. And a lot of people, especially in the online space, especially like, because I told you I started with OnlyFans, a lot of those girls had to go back to work. A lot of those girls had to go back to work because they weren't willing to put in the work ethic that you now needed. Well, at the time that was needed because money was drying up. You had to work harder. And they had got accustomed to not having to do shit to make money. And now that that's not working, they didn't pivot. I tell you, when you're an entrepreneur, you got to know when it's time to pivot. Some quarters, some parts of the year, you might have to work harder than other parts of the year. All right? It is what it is. But if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to have an online business. Okay? And listen, again, there's no shade in going back to work. If you got to go back to work, you got to go back to work. But the point I'm making is you don't have a marketing problem. You have a work ethic problem. I tell y'all every single day, why are you not posting about your business every day? Why are you not showing up every day for the business? Now you living your best life, winning. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why are you not showing up for your business every day? Why are you not posting every day? Hell, multiple times a day. I don't know why. A lot of y'all make things harder than what it has to be. It's really not hard to post multiple times a day. I think it was, Wednesday? I think Monday we talked about how you can repurpose your content. So for those of you guys who are on YouTube and y'all are making YouTube videos, I told you guys you can go on opus.pro and have that YouTube video chopped into reels. Okay, that's what I've been doing with my live streams. That's what I was doing with long form videos. And so now it's not as much work as you're making it out to be. Your mindset makes things harder than what it really is. It's really not hard. You make it hard. The overthinking that you refuse to stop doing is what makes it hard. Okay, listen, it really just boils down to you either want it or you don't. I didn't used to think that. Sometimes I just thought, some people are just blessed with talents and maybe I just don't have that blessing or that's not my calling. No, that's not what it is. Some people are just going to outwork you. Some people just put the excuses to the side. Some people don't go off of the mood. They go off the plan. Some people don't stop when things get hard. Some people still post even if they weren't ready. Some people don't wait for permission. Some people don't care what people think. Some people don't make excuses. And if you're someone who's not doing that, well, that's why you think you have a marketing problem. But I'm here to tell you, it's not a marketing problem. It's a you problem. It's a you problem. I tell y'all, get by yourself. When you don't have people texting you, asking you to go here, there, all over the world, you got more time to focus on your business. If that ain't the truth, listen, I don't have friends. I tell y'all this damn near every day, I ain't got no friends. And I used to be sad about it. But now not so much. It's actually a favor because I don't have people texting me, asking me, hey, you want to go to happy hour? So therefore, I have nothing but time to focus on the business. Okay? But some of y'all don't want to let go of your friends. Some of y'all want to be outside all the time. Some of y'all don't even know when to come in the house. You're going to have to come in the house if you really want a business. I know that much. Because the business ain't going to run itself outside unless you're some type of vlogger. You're going to have to come in the house. Okay? And then for those of y'all who are vloggers, you don't even have your camera on you 24/7. If you're really serious about being a blogger, why are you not recording everything? Make it make sense. Because you don't want it bad enough. You like the illusion. You like the idea of having a business, but you don't really like the business. You don't like what comes with being an entrepreneur. The showing up, the putting in the work, the consistency, the accountability. You don't like all that. You just want to be able to say, oh yeah, I have an Etsy shop. Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. See, you just like the way that sounds, but you're not really with all the shits. Yes, some people are jealous of your success, but we don't focus on that. That might be true. It probably is true, but we can't focus on how other people feel about our success. The only thing we can do is focus on what we're going to do about it. And they say success is the best revenge. So if you really want to make somebody mad, just keep climbing that ladder. While they sitting around worried about you all day, you sitting around working on that business. And every day they check in on you, they got to see you get higher and higher and higher. Now that'll piss them off. That'll piss somebody off. But some of y'all not even pissing people off because you don't even focus on the business. You focus on everything but. Okay? You don't have a marketing problem. You have a work ethic problem. We are in the last quarter of 2025. All right? We getting into holiday season. People are going to have time off, right? The holidays are amongst us. You might be taking off for Thanksgiving. You might be taking off for Christmas, New Year's, right? How many are you going to actually work on the business? Or are you just going to chop it up to, oh, I decided that I'm actually not going to start my business until 2026. Why? Why are you not starting the business till 2026? Why do you have to wait 2.5 months to start the business? Why you can't start now? Oh, I get it. Because you still want to fuck around. Excuse my French. But it's true. You still don't want to make changes to your life. You still want to make excuses. Oh, now it makes sense. But you'll be the same person talking about, oh, it's the algorithm. The algorithm just doesn't like me. He said it's only the top. Yes, does revenge. That's revenge you get on your haters and do people that bullied you. Absolutely. 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 Yeah, your haters. Honestly, if you have people who hate on you, that means you're doing something right. I used to hate having haters because, listen, if you've had people who really are jealous of you, you can relate to this. It's kind of like toxic. It gives you PTSD. Like the things that people do subconsciously, like I don't even think they realize how they're treating you because a lot of people aren't woke. Okay? A lot of people are asleep. So they don't even really understand that they're doing the things that they're doing to you. And if you've ever had a hater before, and I'm sure you can agree with this, it's kind of like traumatizing. It really is. You know, you see people treating other people a certain type of way, but then when it comes to you, they're not treating you that way. You know, that can be very traumatizing. That can really add some emotional damage. But, and so because of that, you know, I used to hate when people would be jealous of me because of the treatment that you would get from it. But I realized, you know, you actually kind of want people to hate on you because if people hate on you, Well, that just is confirmation to you that you're doing something right. See, people don't hate on people that aren't doing shit. People don't hate on people who don't have shit going on. Okay, there's nothing to hate. But if people are hating on you and treating you some type of way, that's because you really are on your shit. So they're literally confirming what you already know. They're confirming that to you. And again, a lot of times they're doing it subconsciously. They don't even realize they're doing it. They don't even realize that they're treating you with extra respect, right? But they are. And you should kind of like embrace that. Don't hang out with them. If you start to detect that people are jealous of you, hating on you, envious of you, whatever you want to call it, you need to distance yourself, because that energy will bring you down and you don't need that around you. But still take it as confirmation, like, oh, I must be doing something right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be hating on me. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. It just comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. But again, just so we're clear, you do not have a marketing problem. You have a work ethic problem. That's what you got going on. Okay? So just want to make sure we're clear on that. And until you adjust, you won't have no business. Entrepreneurship is going to test the hell out of you. I can't even lie. It really is. It's going to test you. It's going to test your strength, your faith. Oh, yeah. Entrepreneurship is going to test you for sure. For sure, for sure. So you got to be ready. You're going to go through ups and downs, okay? You sure will. You're going to have good months. You're going to have not so good months. But I'm going to tell you this. If you just keep showing up, just keep planting the seeds, you will eventually get to a point where the sales going to be coming in so damn fast, you ain't going to know what to do. Your head going to be spinning. You're going to be like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting all this. Yes, yes. But the reason why it's coming is because you kept going. The reason why people don't get the results they want is because they gave up. They gave up before they even got started. They give up. People give up because social media really has you thinking that all you have to do is post one little video, just one. You only have to post one video and you're going to go viral. And sure, that might be one person's story out of 1,000, but that's the exception, okay? Most people who go viral regularly, they've been doing social media for years, okay? Most people. They had years where nobody was watching their content, okay? They had years, where they felt like giving up. Years. Some of y'all can't even make it through a day. But despite that, they just kept going. They just kept going. Like, for instance, when I first started going live on TikTok, right? I would have no viewers on my TikTok live. And it's crazy because I had TikTok followers. Like when I started going live on TikTok to make sales, I think I had like 7,000 TikTok followers at the time. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, since I have 7,000 TikTok followers, I should have viewers on my live. That was my assumption. No. No. And I've made videos on YouTube like explaining how the TikTok live algorithm works. For those of you guys who want to go live on TikTok, make sure you check that out. But I would have live after live after live where nobody was watching. Like that number said 0 and it would stay 0. I was literally talking to myself like the entire live. And at that time this was back in January. Okay. So beginning of the year, 2025. And I would go live multiple times a day to try to sell my ebook. I was going live like 3 times a day, 4 times a day, trying to sell that damn ebook on TikTok live. And I wouldn't have any viewers. Or if I did have a viewer, it'd be like 1, and then they would go away. Yes. And it was like that for a while. It was like that for a while. It was day four of no sales, no viewers, right? At this point, so if I was going live 4 times a day, we're on day 4. That means I had already did 16 TikTok lives with no sales. Okay. 16. But I still was like, okay, let me try this again. Got on there. Someone bought my ebook. She bought it. And she had said, yeah, I was watching your live the other day. And I said, when I get paid, I was going to come back and buy it. I'm going to say it again. She bought my ebook on day 4 of me going live with no sales and no viewers for real. And when she purchased it on day 4, she said, I just bought your ebook. I caught you live the other day. And I said, when I get paid, I was going to come back and buy it. So what does that mean? People are watching. But you give up before you even get started. People are watching, but you give up before you even get started. If that was you, you would have had already given up. You wouldn't even made it day 2. You wouldn't have even made it to day 2. Don't even sit here and lie. You would have been gave up. Some of y'all can't handle no views. Y'all like this lip combo? Cute. See, this is Night Moth, MAC liner, and then this is Chic. What is this? Urban Decay? I don't know what brand this is. Juvia's Place. Color Chic. Let me show y'all. So it's like a nude pink color. That's what we got going on here. But yeah. So the moral of the story is keep going. Keep going. People are watching. They're listening. They hear you. Okay? They see you. But you give up before you even get started. You literally shoot your own self in the foot because you're not getting the results that you want in the time frame in which you feel entitled to them. That's the thing too. You feel entitled to the results right now. And so needless to say, once I got that sale, and it was $49.99 for that ebook. And at the time when I first started TikTok Live, I was teaching people about like weight loss and stuff. So it was like a weight loss ebook with meal plans and affirmations and stuff like that. And I had priced it at $49.99. And she bought it. I was so excited. That was my first sale on TikTok Live. Okay. And Then I got another sale 2 days later for the same ebook, $49.99. I was jumping for joy, you guys. My confidence went through the roof. But I pivoted. And the reason why I pivoted was because I realized for myself, I personally did not enjoy teaching people how to eat right. That's something I realized going live. Like, yeah, I like making content about it, making YouTube videos about it, but I do not enjoy talking to people about it on live 4 times a day. So I was like, it was getting to the point where I was dreading it. And I always tell you guys, if you're dreading something, it's because you don't really like it. It's one thing to kind of just not feel motivated to do it. But if you're dreading it, this is probably not the niche for you. And so that's what that helped me realize. And so that's when I pivoted and started teaching other people how to build their platforms, grow their channels, build their business. And I was still going live 4 times a day, teaching people that. I had made an ebook, Becoming a Content Creator, but I wasn't dreading going live. Like I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I was exhausted, going live that much. Going live that much was hard. It was definitely hard, but I wasn't dreading it. You know what I mean? Yes, thank you, Alex. Thank you. Making money, being your most successful, most beautiful self. Yes, thank you. But that took trial and error, you guys. It just means you just keep going. Even if it's hard. Life is hard. Working a job that you hate is hard. So what's the difference? What's the difference? I'm trying to figure that out. What's the difference? You already go to a job that you hate. So what's the difference? Okay. She said, how do I create offers that people actually need? I want you to think about a problem that you need to solve. What is something that people in your niche struggle with, right? So for me, people who want to be content creators struggle with accountability. They struggle with confidence. They struggle with learning how to be disciplined. They struggle with learning what to say in the first place. They struggle with what kind of digital product to make. And so because I recognize those things, Glow Up Academy was born. Because Glow Up Academy solves those problems that people have. So I want you to think about, in your niche, what kind of problems are people struggling with? And then how can you solve those problems for them? And then I want you to build a digital product around that. Okay. How do I recover from a bad launch or no sales in a week? Well, we kind of just talked about it. You're just going to keep going. You guys, this happens to everyone. It's not just you. We got to stop taking things so personally. This happens to every entrepreneur. I have had weeks where I've made thousands upon thousands, and then I had weeks where I made a couple $100. Okay, this happens to everyone. I tell you, and I had to learn this too, don't go off of the day, don't go off of the week. Some entrepreneurs say don't even go off of the month. Some entrepreneurs, they only go off of the quarter. So 3 months. They'll take the average of how much they made in 3 months. And because people who have like high price stuff, they may not get a sale every month, right? But the high price that they do sell, that's a lot, okay? So I want you to focus on just showing up every day, just doing what you're supposed to do. And when you focus on it like that, you're not going to be in your head. And again, I understand we have bills. I know that. You have bills. So it's like, oh, I got to pay my bills. I understand that. But this is why I told you guys, when you're a business owner, you're going to have to learn financial literacy. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you, you are going to have to learn how to spend your money. God is not going to bless you with more money if you don't learn how to be a good steward of the money that you already have. Trust me. Okay, trust me. Hear me loud and clear. When I first started making money, you guys, I was spending it like I never made it before. And I didn't know what to do with all that money. Okay? But how can God bless you with more if you don't steward, if you're not a good steward of the money he's blessing you with? So when it comes to finances, especially if you're full-time with it, or if that's your goal to be full-time, I want you to take an average of your lowest earning months, and that's what you need to base your living expenses on. Okay. So let's say you have several months where you do 10K, but your lowest earning months in the year might be 3,000. Well, then I need you to base your living expenses off of $3,000 a month. I know that might be challenging. It's like, but I made 10,000. Right. But we have to go off of your lowest earning, because you might not make 10,000 next month. And now you got $10,000 worth of bills, and you're going to be sitting there looking broke, busted, and disgusted, trying to figure out how you're going to pay them. Okay. So trust me when I tell you, go off of your lowest earning month and base your bills around that. And also try to pay stuff off. Don't do monthly payment stuff. Okay. We just really need to keep our expenses as low as possible. Also, too, another reason why I tell you this is because if you're really an entrepreneur, like you're really trying to get to the next level, you're going to be constantly investing in yourself. So, or you should be investing into your education, learning things you didn't already know. Okay. I spend a lot of money on mentorship. Some of y'all would have a heart attack if you knew how much I spent in 2025 on education. And I'm talking about college. No, I'm talking about education to help me be a better entrepreneur, to be better at sales, be better at content. Okay. I told you guys I just bought a course on how to run ads for Facebook. Okay. I'm still working on it. I haven't started running them yet, but it's coming. All right. So I'm always spending money, investing money into learning what I don't already know. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have to do that too. Like it's crazy. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me just be honest. I'm going to just keep it real. It is absolutely amazing to me how a lot of people think that they can be these successful entrepreneurs and not have to invest into their education. You guys, the only reason why I know what I know today is because I have invested in the knowledge. Like everything that I learned nothing that I learned came through a YouTube video. You guys, I rarely watch YouTube videos learning how to do something. If I watch a YouTube video to try to learn how to do something, it's really something like technological, like why won't my laptop start? Like, you know what I mean? Or why is iMovie crashing? It's something like that. I have never sat on any platform, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere, and tried to gather information on how to do something. All of the knowledge that I've learned has come from me paying somebody to teach me something, But a lot of you guys, especially in the TikTok world, there are people, and I've had students come inside Globe Academy, and this is why I say what I say on my lives, because I see what's going on here. I have had students come inside Globe Academy, they caught me on TikTok Live, and they have admitted to this. But this is what people do, especially in the TikTok world. Listen, people on TikTok, and probably YouTube too, I'm just using TikTok as an example, are just looking for a dopamine hit. People want to feel like they're working towards something, okay? And the way that they feel that is by consuming people's lives, okay? Their live streams, right? They want to start a business, but they're living in so much fear that they have convinced themselves that if they just watch other people talk about live or talk about running a business, now they feel like they're running a business. And so And again, this is all because they live in fear. And so what happens is, and you might be guilty of this too, I don't know you. What happens is a lot of people on TikTok will watch people's TikTok lives all day, every day. They'll go from one TikTok coach to the next. Next thing you know, they have been on TikTok live all day watching lives of people teaching them how to run an online business. But they haven't done anything with the knowledge that they learned because they have convinced themselves in their head that watching somebody talk about business is like running a business, and it's not. But that's what they have convinced themselves, okay? That's what they really believe in their head. And so because that's what they believe in their head, they also believe that they don't have to pay for information. They believe that all the information that they need is free. That's what they think. They have convinced themselves that information is free. I don't have to pay for it because everything I need to know is on live, or it's sitting in a YouTube video somewhere. But it's not. It is not. And the time that you spent, even if it is sitting on someone's YouTube video somewhere, maybe it is, right? I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it is sitting on someone's YouTube video somewhere, right? But the time that you spend bouncing from YouTube video to YouTube video, trying to find the information that you're looking for, you end up on YouTube for hours and you still haven't gotten anywhere with it. You still don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. I have learned that time is valuable. Okay. I take my time very seriously. Okay. And I understand that when you are trying to take the quote unquote free route, you waste so much time trying to find this free information when you could have just paid somebody to teach you in a quarter of the time. Think about when you're really trying to learn something on YouTube, okay? When I was using iMovie to edit my videos and my videos kept crashing, I must have had to go through like 6 different YouTube videos to find the information that I was looking for. 6 YouTube videos, because the person who made the video, the problem that they said they were going to solve for you in the title, they didn't solve. So I went through 6 videos to figure out why my iMovie was crashing and why I couldn't get this saved to my laptop. But that's what some of you guys do on a day-to-day basis. You will literally sit on YouTube for hours upon hours trying to find this free information somewhere, not realizing that you're wasting days, weeks trying to find this information that you're still not going to find when you could have just paid somebody to teach it to you in 30 minutes. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. Everything that I know about ChatGPT and what it does, I paid my mentor to teach me in 30 minutes. Some of you guys will bounce around for hours upon hours trying to find the answer to something because you refuse to invest in yourself. You refuse to do it. You think it's a waste of money. That's what you think. You want to be cheap. But you're only cheap when it comes to yourself and bettering yourself. When it comes to buying clothes, when it comes to going out to eat, oh no, you're not cheap there. You will spend it. You will spend it. But when it comes to education and learning something, oh no. That's where you draw the line. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Fine. Don't do it. Whatever. That's your choice. But don't be sitting there trying to figure out why shit ain't working out for you. Everything that I learned and have applied to my own businesses did not come from a TikTok live, you guys. They did not come from a YouTube video. It came from me paying somebody to teach me something. That's what it came from. because I'm not going to sit around and waste hours upon hours trying to learn something and still not know and still be on square one. I'm not doing that. But again, only serious people will do it. And the crazy thing is too, people spend thousands upon thousands for college, university. Oh yeah, of course. But when it comes to learning how to run a business, oh no. I'll take the free information all day and be absolutely nowhere. Still ain't figured it out. Still looking confused as hell. But whatever. And I know people do that, which is why I don't even press the issue, because that lets me know where you are in your journey and I can't help you. Like, I know I can't help you. If you don't even want to invest to learn how to do something, then that just lets me know what frequency you're operating on. And you're operating on a frequency where you don't believe in yourself enough to invest your money in it, which lets me know you're not really ready for change. You're not really ready to be held accountable. You're not really ready to learn what you need to learn in order to do it. That lets me know what kind of person you are right now today. And I understand that. And so then therefore, like, I can't mentor you. Like, I can't coach you until you realize that you bouncing around on social all day to try to get information and still not getting you anywhere, then you're just not ready. And I don't really want people inside Glow Up Academy who aren't ready, right? Real quick before we get into our affirmations for the morning, do not forget to join Glow Up Academy. For those of you guys who are done bouncing around trying to get free information so they can get it, and you're actually ready to be held accountable. You're ready to learn what you really need to learn so you can actually see growth, so you can actually see results. Think like a CEO, earn like one. All inside Glow Up Academy. Look at the cute little shirt. Glow Up Academy is a space where not only do I teach you how to build your business, build your platforms, grow your audience, make your sales, but also how to build yourself, build your confidence, build your discipline, build your accountability, build who you are in your mindset. A lot of times you think that you just need more information, right? And a lot of times you do, but you also need more discipline. You also need more structure. You also need accountability. You also need confidence, right? And so these are the things that I teach inside of Glow Up Academy. A lot of times we are very insecure. We don't have confidence, which is why a lot of you guys are camera shy. This is why a lot of you guys struggle with worrying about the opinions of other people, because you lack confidence in yourself. You lack confidence in your decision-making skills. Well, we have to fix that, right? In order to earn like a CEO, you have to think like one. So the link is down below, Glow Up Academy. Again, it's only $39 a month. You can cancel at any time. Come in confused, and whenever you do decide to leave me, you will have the knowledge that you need in order to finally not only build the business, but keep it going, okay? Let's get into some affirmations this morning. Again, I hope you guys are saying these. Don't be having me do these affirmations, y'all. Y'all ain't even saying the shit that we talking about, okay? We are here to grow. We are here to develop. We are here to fix ourselves. But what is the point of watching if you're not doing? And this is another reason, before we get into affirmations real quick, this is why I talk about the problem with free information is you didn't commit to it. See, when you invest your hard-earned money into something, you're going to think about how many hours you had to work at that job to come up with that money, right? And when you look at it like that, now your energy is different. Now you're like, oh no, I have to do what Jazz said, because it took me 2 hours to come up with this amount, or it took me 5 hours to come up with this amount, right? Whatever it is you paid for. So I have to do it, because I will be damned if I waste my hard-earned money. But see, when stuff is free, you don't have that level of commitment to it. So you can give up on it in an hour if you want to, because you didn't commit to anything. Okay. When I pay my mentor and I sit down with her for 30 minutes, you guys, I do everything she tells me to do, because I will be damned if I waste $500. Like, I'd be damned. I'm not going to do it. Absolutely not. I work too hard for that $500. I'm going to do everything that she tells me to do to the T. That's the commitment that you need in order to get it done. But a lot of people, again, they say they want a business because it sounds cool, right? It's trending. It makes you feel like you're doing something until it's actually time to do a business. then that's when we have pushback. Then it's, oh, never mind, I was just joking. I was just playing around. Just kidding, girl. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay. Affirmation time. I am soft, but I'm not weak. I am soft, but I'm not weak. A lot of y'all don't even give yourself credit for the things that you've overcome in your life. For real. Like, let's just be real. A lot of y'all, sorry, I'm just loving the hair right now. A lot of you guys have overcome things, and in the moment, whenever it was going on, you didn't think you would overcome it, right? You might have been praying to God, like, God, how are you going to see me through this? Like, times is tough. What are we about to do? And in that moment, you were freaking out, right? But he still delivered you up out of the moment that you were experiencing. But here we are now, however many days, months, years later, and you're doubting your ability to post content consistently. And you're trying to convince yourself that this is just going to be so hard. But look at what you're already doing that's hard. Look, like, living paycheck to paycheck is hard, okay? Robbing Patrice to pay Paula is hard, but you do that every day. But now when it's time to post a 30-second TikTok reel, you are trying to convince yourself that you don't have the ability to do it. But look at what you're already doing. You're not weak, okay? If you've overcome what you've overcome, there are people who probably couldn't even last 2 minutes in your shoes. Seriously. But you're not even giving yourself the credit. You're a lot stronger than you allow yourself to believe. And that's the problem. We got to stop living like that. Okay. We got to stop living like that. Okay. Let's see. I am proud of the boundaries I've built. I am proud of the boundaries I built. You guys, if you're not creating boundaries for yourself and your energy, we have a serious problem. I told you guys, your energy is currency. Your energy is currency. You have to have a feel-good energy about yourself. You really do. This is why I spend a lot of time in Cycle Up Academy talking about confidence. You have to be confident in yourself. It takes energy to be confident in yourself. If you're giving your energy to everybody and you're bending your boundaries and you're a yes person, a people pleaser, you don't know how to tell people no, well, that's the problem. That's the problem. That right there. You have no boundaries. You don't know how to stand up for yourself when people disrespect you. All of this is because you lack confidence. This is all it is. A woman who is truly confident with herself, she doesn't tolerate bullshit. Okay? She doesn't tolerate disrespect. She's not going to let people talk to her crazy. She's not going to let people take advantage of her. She's not going to allow people to take from her and never fill the cup back up. She's not going to tolerate it, which is why she has energy, because she has boundaries. But if you're operating in a frequency where you have no boundaries and you just let people step all over you, well, that's why you don't have any damn energy. That's why. But again, this is all a confidence thing. That's all this is. You lack confidence. You lack self-love. You lack self-respect. You lack self-dignity, okay? But the beauty of it is you can build it. It doesn't have to stay that way. I tell people this all the time. Anything in your life that you're not happy with, you have the power to fix it. You just choose not to. You do. That is a choice that you make every single day to not fix it. That's what you choose to do. But today is a new day. It is Wednesday. You can fix it today. You can start working on it today. So, okay, yesterday you didn't have any boundaries. All right, well, today's a new day. Let's make some. Let's make some boundaries. Let's set some standards, okay? Let's put ourselves first. Let's pour into ourselves. Let's show up for ourselves. Let's work on our goals. Let's do that. Let's do that, okay? Amen, amen. Let's do one business related. Ooh, I am fully booked in alignment, not desperation. I am fully booked in alignment, not desperation. You guys, we attract, we don't chase. We attract, we don't chase, okay? Stop chasing people. Stop chasing sales. Stop chasing views. I don't even care about views anymore. I have closed offers on TikTok Live with 5 people in the room. And I closed all 5. I have had TikTok Lives where I had 250 people in the room and I only had 2 sales. Okay. None of that matters. Your views don't matter. Okay. It only matters in the sense of how much is the platform itself paying you. But if you have digital products and you're making sales, I promise you the sales of those digital products will probably outweigh the sales of the views that you get on YouTube, depending on the price of the product and how many people buy it. I'm just being real. I'm just keeping it real because YouTube ain't gonna pay you $500 for a video if you're not getting 10,000 plus views. But you can make $500 off of that same YouTube video if you promoted a digital product and someone bought it. Hello. Make it make sense. So we don't chase views. We don't chase sales. We don't chase customers. We attract. We're going to show up every day doing what we're supposed to do. Promoting the business, creating the content, showing up. And if you do those things every single day, the sales will come. The views will come. The customers will come. Okay. So we're going to focus on alignment. And this is why I tell you guys, choose something that you love, because when you choose something that you love, now you're aligned with it. Now it's easy for you to show up for it every day because you truly enjoy what it is you're talking about. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. There's a method to the madness. There's a method to the madness. My purpose is profitable. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't need motivation. I move from discipline. Discipline is doing things that you don't necessarily always feel like doing, but you know you have to do it in order to get the results that you want. And breaking the barrier of, I don't feel like it, but I'm still going to do it, versus I don't feel like it and I'm not going to do it. Okay. That's something else people struggle with. And it's crazy because you are disciplined as hell when it comes to that job. But for some odd reason, when it comes to the goals, no discipline, no accountability, no consistency whatsoever. Thank you, Alex. Make it make sense. So we got to change that. We really do. We really do. I am the woman who finishes what she starts. I love that. I am the woman who finishes what she starts. I silence overthinking with action. Some of y'all overthink from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Honestly, I don't even know how you function like that. I don't know how you're not going crazy, but that overthinking nonsense that you do is keeping you trapped. Stop. It's not doing anything for you. It's not pushing you closer to your goals. It's not building your confidence, that's for sure. It's literally just keeping you stuck right where you are. So what I recommend is, if you have an idea, and this is what I do with my own life. If I have an idea, I just move. I just go. I don't think 30 times. I don't even think twice. If an idea comes to me, I just move. Because the longer you sit and think about it, the more time you give yourself to overthink. And then you overthink your way right out your good idea. That's what you do. Every time let me just think about it for a while. That's you overthinking your way right out of it. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Okay, you have an idea, you run with it, you didn't think about it, and maybe it didn't work out. Okay, and just move on. Who cares? Who cares? You're the only one who cares. Nobody's thinking about you. Just do it. I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it is hard to keep saying these things on these videos because it's just kind of like, I literally just tell y'all to just post the fucking video. Like, it can be, I'm not gonna use the word draining, but it really can. It just is mind blowing how many people struggle with just recording a damn video and hitting upload, because it's really not that goddamn hard, but you make it so hard. And you will say in the comments, I just don't know how to post because I'm just so worried. Worried about what? What are you really worried about? Are you worried about the possibility that you post the video and you stuck with it and you kept showing up and now your channel is monetized and now you're making sales and now you have an audience? Is that what you're really worried about it? Because what you claim to be worried about is a whole bunch of nothing. You're worried about people who don't even pay your bills and what they think. Like, why are we living in high school? We are grown ass adults. We're grown ass adults. And you're really worried about what Sally thinks of your TikTok reel? Are we serious right now? Meanwhile, Sally didn't put in for no rent. She ain't buy no groceries. She ain't pay not one penny on that phone bill. She damn sure ain't helping you with your car note or your car insurance. She not giving you health insurance. She not doing nothing for you. But for some reason, you care so much about what people think about you and yours. I can't make this up. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's just like, wow. And again, I used to be the exact same way, but it's like the further I get away from that mindset, the harder it is to understand it now. Because it's like, I promise you, nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing. A lot of times, the reason why you care so much about what people think and their judgment is because you're projecting. We've talked about projection so much on this channel, and everyone projects. Again, this live is a projection. Every piece of content that I post is a projection. A projection is just how people view the world from their own lens. That's all it is. So if you're a negative person, you're projecting negativity, and people don't realize that they're doing it. It's not something that people wake up and like, I'm going to project all of my insecurities on my friend today. That's not what it's not like they're trying to be malicious. It's just what people do. And what happens is the reason why you are so concerned with what other people are going to think about your videos and the judgment that they might give towards you is because that's what you do. That's what you do. You are the person who's caring what people are posting. You are the person who is talking about people and their videos and why did she wear that and why she got that on her head and she know that way don't look good or why she didn't do her. That's you. That's what you do. And so because that's what you do, that's what you think other people are doing. See, I don't judge people's content. Okay. I could give two fucks about what someone's wearing, their hairstyle, their lighting, their angles, their house. I don't care. Okay. I truly don't care. So then therefore I'm not projecting energy of, well, what if someone talks about me and my content? Because I'm not doing that to other people. You see, but if you are doing that to other people, well, then of course you're going to think that that's what people are doing to you. See, you're projecting. That's what you're doing. And I'm calling you out. So 9 times out of 10, the only reason why you care so much about what other people think about you is because you are the person who is always talking about and gossiping about other people. Maybe it's celebrities. Maybe it's your friends, your family. I don't know, coworkers. You're doing that in some part of your life. And so you think other people are doing that to you. So in order to stop feeling like that, you're going to have to stop doing that. Because I promise you, most people don't give 2 freaks about what you got going on in your household. Most people don't care. They got their own problems. Okay. They try to figure out how they're going to pay their rent too. They're not thinking about you. They really aren't. You're thinking about them. Clock it. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God. Okay. So stop caring. Stop. I trust my timing, my growth, and my journey. I trust my timing, my growth, and my journey. You are where you're supposed to be. Okay. You are where you're supposed to be. Understand that, okay? Stop feeling like, you're behind or you're trying to catch up, or things aren't working out for you in time frame. Listen, I'm 35. Prime example. I'm 35 years old. Okay. I just turned 35 last Monday. And I'm not going to lie. If you were to ask me in my 20s, what would I be doing at 35? I would have never thought this. I would have never thought this. If you asked me in my 20s what I would be doing at 35, I would think that I would have like 3 or 4 kids by now. I really would have. I ain't got no kids, okay? But I'm not sitting here, freaking out. Oh, I'm supposed to have 10 kids by now. No, you are where you're supposed to be, okay? God has you where you're at for a particular reason. I don't know what that reason is because I'm not God. But things happen when they're supposed to and not a minute before. You are not behind. You are right on time, okay? So please don't confuse that. Please don't make yourself feel guilty, all right? You are right where you need to be on time, okay? You're not behind. You're just getting started. And also, too, every day that you wake up is another day to work towards your goals. It's another day that you're blessed with, all right? So don't take that for granted. Don't take that for granted. How do I build a wealthy mindset daily? How do I build a wealthy mindset daily? Well, let's write some stuff down. I feel like drawing on the board. Let's do some whiteboard teaching. Let me bring this up closer. Can y'all see? Yeah. That sun. Look, we was up at the crack of dawn, okay? We were up at the crack of dawn. And I'm gonna change it more than just a wealthy mindset, but just like let's do like, we'll put, okay, how to build a wealthy, mindset, but we'll also talk about confidence, and because confidence plays a huge role in this. So how to build a wealthy mindset. These are the things that I do. Number 1, you guys, stop living in lack and scarcity. Okay, you need to stop this. Living in lack and scarcity, you guys, is absolutely nothing for you. If you keep thinking that there's not enough money out here, you're going to continue to live in lack. If you keep thinking that there's only enough money online for 10 people to be successful with their online business, you're going to continue to live in scarcity. There's enough for everybody. The problem is you spend more time focused on what you can't control than what you can control, which is yourself. You may not be able to control people who buy your products. You may not be able to control the economy, but you can control yourself. You can control how often you post. You can control how often you go live. You can control how good your offer is. These are all things that you can control. And if you focus on controlling you and what you can do, I promise you the money will come. So I need you to stop worrying about things that are outside of your control. Okay, so stop living in lack and scarcity. Number 2, something that I do is, and I told you guys this too, be around people you look up to. You guys, you don't have to know them personally, but be around people you look up to. Like when you think about someone that you would like to be with, someone you would like to be like. Think about if everything worked in your favor, right? Well, how would you move on a day-to-day basis? What kind of restaurants would you be at? What side of town would you hang out on? What kind of car would you drive, right? How would you eat? What kind of food would you eat? How would you exercise? Like, think about your dream life and what you would do. And I want you to get around those people who are already doing it. That's what I want. So let's say for myself, I used to be 100 pounds overweight. My heaviest weight was 340 pounds, okay? So when I would envision my goals. I knew I wanted to be a lot smaller. Okay, I knew that much. I knew I did not want to continue life being 340 pounds. So I started being around people who were already healthy. Okay, I started going to the gym. That's how you do that. If you want to be around people who are smaller, go to the gym. If you want to eat better, go hang out with vegetarians and vegans. Okay, that's what I did. I'm vegan. So I want you to figure out, well, what would my dream life look like? And then go be around those type of people. I knew that I wanted to be around entrepreneurs. Okay, well, I live in a city where there's a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, but people aren't like flashy with it. Like certain cities, people are very flashy. Like you think about Miami, you think about Houston, you think about like LA. So you could probably find entrepreneurs easily there, right? Well, I live in Virginia. There are people with money, but you might not know it. Right? These are people who would be like more conservative. They might be worth millions, but they still drive around in Toyotas, right? Like it's not very loud in my city. So what I chose to do, since it's not obvious who's an entrepreneur and who's thriving, I just decided to get on the rich side of town. Okay, so damn near every day I go to the rich side of town. I go to the gyms over there. I go to the restaurants over there. I go to the bank over there. I go to the grocery store over there. Okay, I also got an office over there so I can be around entrepreneurs. I'm putting myself in spaces to be around people who I would like to be like. And that's what I want you to do. How do they act? How do they act? Okay, how do they dress? How do they conduct themselves? When you put yourself in those type of environments, you start to become that without even trying. You start to become that. The reason why you're negative, if you're a negative person, I used to be very negative too, is because you're around negative ass people. Okay. And their negativity has become so normal to you that you don't even realize how negative they really are. You're probably around pessimistic people. You might be around people who are insecure, people who don't believe in themselves, people who are broke, right? Well, that's what you're around. So that's what you're going to be. But if you move your environment, and you get around people who you aspire to be like in some way, shape, or form, you slowly start to become that. I can't make this up. You really do, without even trying. Just because you put yourself in those spaces, now you're thinking differently. You're moving differently. You're acting differently. You're feeling differently. And now you're attracting things to you that you've always wanted. Okay? When I was losing weight, I was only around people who were in shape. I only talked to people who were in shape. I made a lot of gym friends. Okay. My personal trainer. Like I would only be around people who were in shape. So then therefore now I'm adapting their mindset. Now they're on some, oh, I got to work out even though it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to the gym. I never used to do that before. Go to the gym on Thanksgiving? What? Yes. But that's what they do. And because you're around them, you talk to them. Now they got you doing it too. Okay, so this is how you build a wealthy mindset. Be around wealthy ass people. And something else too that's really important, and I'm gonna put this in red because this is key. Build your confidence. You guys, confidence is earned. I feel like I say this in every video. Confidence is earned. It is not something that you're built with. It is something that you have to work for every single day. Good morning. Hello, hello. It's something that you have to work for every single day. And the reason why people don't have confidence in themselves is because they don't show up for themselves. Okay? They don't pour into themselves. They don't put themselves first. They put themselves last. Okay? They don't keep the promises that they make to themselves. And that's why they lack confidence. I didn't always have confidence either. If you look at me today, I'm a very confident woman. But that's because I pour into myself. I put myself first. I do what makes me happy. And because I move like that, I feel really, really good about myself. So if you lack confidence, I want you to start thinking to yourself, well, what kind of things would you need to do to build your confidence? And I'm not even talking about aesthetic wise, okay? I'm not talking about, well, once I get my titties done, then I'll be confident. Or once I get my lip injections, then I'll be confident. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the belief in yourself. What things would you have to do in order to start being confident? Is it working out? Is it eating better? Is it posting the content that you've been talking about? Is it working on the digital product? Once you start to figure out what those things are that will make you more confident, I need you to do them. Once you figure that out, I want you to start doing them. And if you keep doing those things, you will start to build confidence. Okay. And I'm not sitting here saying that there's anything wrong with getting work done. Okay. I got my teeth done. There's nothing wrong with those things, right? Those things will make you feel better about yourself. But I'll tell you this, if you don't work on who you are internally, it doesn't matter how many plastic surgery procedures you get, you still won't think you're shit. You still won't think you're shit. So that's why I said I want you to work on the things internally that would make you feel better about yourself and do those things, okay? Because that's where real confidence comes from. It doesn't come from a boob job. It doesn't come from a BBL. It doesn't come from teeth, okay? It comes from consistently doing things that make you happy every day. And it's not procedures. It's your day-to-day life. What are you doing for yourself? How are you pouring into yourself? How are you working towards the goals? That's what builds the confidence, okay? Real quick before we move forward, make sure you guys join Glow Up Academy. This is the space where we transform our lives, not only our bank account, but who we are internally, right? A lot of times we want to start businesses, but the reason why the business isn't businessing is because we're not thinking like CEOs. We still live in insecurities. We still live in lack. We still live in scarcity. We still go off of the mood and not the plan. We haven't built any discipline. We have no accountability whatsoever and no consistency. And the reason why I call it Glow Up Academy is because not only are we building our platforms and our business and our content, but we're also building who we are, okay? Think like a CEO so you can earn like one. Also, too, I want to brag on one of my members inside Glow Up Academy. Her name is Liz. She grew her TikTok from 3,500 followers to 15.2K followers, all because she listened to the information I gave her. And she did it. She executed it, okay? She built her email list to over 1,200 signups. She booked 4 one-on-one consultations, all because she decided to stop waiting for permission. She decided to stop waiting to be perfect, and she just did what I told her to do. And just like her, just like other members, you can have that for yourself as well. But she still live in fear. And that fear that she refused to let go of is exactly why things aren't progressing for you. But the beauty with life and the beauty with business is you can fix it. So let's fix it together so that you can finally get the results that you want. Okay? Glow Up Academy link is down below in my description. Okay. Let's see. Any questions on that? Confidence. Build it. Earn it. How do I make my brand feel premium and worth the price? Show up that way. How do I make my brand feel premium and worth the price? Show up that way. Show up that way. Be that. So if you want your brand to feel premium, then you need to look premium. You need to look premium. So don't be making no videos and you got stains on your t-shirt and your shirt is wrinkled. Don't be making no videos and you got boogers hanging out your nose. Listen, presentation is key. And I'm not talking about where you're recording your video. You could be in your car. You could be outside. It doesn't matter. But how are you showing up? You want people to buy premium prices and you want people to believe that you know what you're talking about, but you didn't even iron your shirt. You didn't even clean up all the clothes and shit you got in the back of your room and you got the audacity to record a video. You didn't even clean up and you want to make a video in a dirty ass kitchen. These are the things I'm talking about. These are the things I'm talking about. How you show up, how you treat yourself is how other people are going to treat you. I don't have to tell you that. That's common knowledge. People already know that. You already know that. So if you want your brand to feel premium, then you need to show up premiumly. Okay. Put yourself together. Brush your hair. Do something. Do something. Put yourself together. If that's the vibe you're going for, and if you're so worried about it, I can't make this up. So I need you to start showing up how you want other people to perceive you. And that'll solve 99% of your problems. Okay. How do I stop feeling guilty for wanting luxury? Why would you feel guilty? You're allowed to want what you want. That's something to feel guilty about. If you feel guilty about it, it's because you're around people who feel like they can never get it, so they're projecting that onto you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting luxury. There's nothing wrong with wanting to live in a better side of town. There's nothing wrong with wanting to drive a nicer car. There's nothing wrong with that. So I need you to make some new friends. Make some new friends. How do I know if my business idea is actually profitable? Well, is it solving people's problems? And are people asking about it? Are you making sales? Okay. Remember, you guys, if we're going to create a product, we have to solve a problem. We got to solve a problem. So whatever niche you're in, none of that matters. Is your product solving people's problem? If the answer is yes, well, then 90% of the work is already done. Now we have to promote it. And how are we doing that? Are we posting content daily? Are we going live? This is especially important if you're not running ads. If you're running ads, sure, you don't have to post every day, whatever. But most of you guys are not, because ads cost money. So if you're going the free route, you're going to have to post every day. You're going to have to go live. Okay. I can't make this up, especially if you're selling things that are very expensive. Remember, people need to like you, know you, trust you. Okay. The best way to get people to like you, know you, trust you is to go live. So people can get a sense of your energy and who you are. Are you really who you say you are, or is it a facade, right? Going live will also allow people to ask you questions and allows you to promote your product. So whatever the product is, it allows you to talk about it and answer people's questions about it and get people to further understand what the transformation is. So this is why I tell you guys to go live. So if you're not doing that, shame on you. And honestly, you guys, going live is fun. It's really not hard. You make it hard. It might be a little nerve-wracking at first, right? It might be a little intimidating, but I promise if you just keep doing it, it won't be like that for long. Y'all, I'm loving this hair. I am loving these curls, these flexi rods. You guys, what? Hello. Hello. Okay. I cannot stress the importance. You guys, listen, this is why I keep saying this. Ladies, because I know most of you guys are women. Ladies, you don't have to be like super prissy. But what I will say, there were things that I changed about myself that really started making me feel better about myself. Okay. When I was working my 9-to-5, y'all know I hated it. I tell y'all this every day. It was very traumatic. I had PTSD from that job. I was very depressed, very miserable, all of the things. And during that season of my life, I never used to do anything to myself. Like I had hair. I would literally put my hair in a bun every day. And I was natural, but I wouldn't even really like do my hair. Like I wouldn't even really brush it out. I would just kind of throw more gel on the gel I already had on my hair and just throw it into a little bun, like a little ball. And I would let it sit on the top of my head like this. That's what I would do every day. I wouldn't lay edges. I wouldn't put oil in it. I wouldn't do none of that. Okay. I never got my nails done and I never wore makeup and I was extremely overweight. Okay. And I used to just really not like myself. And you could tell how I presented myself. You could tell, like just looking at me, you could tell I was insecure because like I put no effort into my looks, like at all. And I hated myself, really. You know, I was very insecure. I didn't like myself. Fast forward to now, totally different woman. And also too, back then I never would take pictures. I would never take pictures of myself at all. Fast forward to now, every single morning I put myself together. Like, yeah, we're doing it on this live now, or we finished, but earlier, yeah, I do it on live. But even if I wasn't live, what y'all see me doing is what I was already doing. I do my makeup every day, whether it's Tuesday or Saturday. I put myself together. I make sure my hair is always done. Always. Okay. I make sure that I work out. Even if I don't make it to the gym, I still get my steps. I still make sure I eat healthy throughout the day. I still make sure I'm drinking my water. I do a gallon of water every day. Feeling how I used to feel about myself was hard. If you've ever been insecure about the way you look, then you already know what I'm talking about. It's hard. You look at other women and you kind of have like this envy inside of you because it's like, oh, why is she so pretty and I'm so ugly? But what you fail to realize is you're doing that to yourself. Don't look at another woman and be envious of her beauty, but you're not even putting in any energy or effort into your own beauty. Okay. And that's what I used to do. But now, because I do pour into myself and I make sure I look good and feel good about myself every day, I don't have those feelings because I put in the work for myself. And I'm telling you, when you look good, you feel good. I can't make this up. Putting yourself together daily makes you feel so good about yourself. I don't care what flaws you think you have. None of that matters. If you put in effort every single day to doing your hair, putting on a little lip, whatever, right? If you just do those things every day, over time, you start to feel better and better and better about yourself, okay? But it's going to start with you. It has to start with you. So for those of y'all who are so camera shy because you feel like you don't have the look, well, I want you to ask yourself, how much energy and effort do you put into this look that you feel like you don't have? And if the answer is 0, well, then let's fix it. Remember, I said anything that you don't like in your life, you have the power to fix. You can't convince me otherwise. You have the power to fix it. You choose not to. You choose not to. It really doesn't take that long to put yourself together. Actually, 20 minutes. That's less time on TikTok. That's all it is. That's less scrolling on TikTok that you have just to make yourself feel good every day. And you mean to tell me it's not worth it? It's not worth it? Really? How you feel about yourself is not worth it. Oh. Well, then I think we have bigger problems. We got bigger problems than some mascara at this point. Especially if you're telling me that you don't like the way you feel about yourself, but you're not willing to do anything to change it. I can't make this up. And when you do start showing up for yourself, putting into yourself, pouring into yourself, it changes how other people perceive you. And sure, we can sit here and be like, oh, well, I don't care what people think. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be worried about being camera shy. If you truly didn't care about what people thought of you, you wouldn't be sitting here talking about how camera shy you were. You wouldn't be sitting here talking about how you're afraid of what people are going to say. That wouldn't even be a conversation. You cannot care what people think, but still want to be perceived as someone who respects themselves. But in order for other people to respect you, you're going to have to respect yourself. But a lot of you guys don't do that. You roll up out of bed, you barely brush your teeth, you wear stuff that's wrinkled. Some of my ladies go outside with their bonnets on and freaking pajamas and an oversized shirt. And then you wonder why you feel the way you feel. Look at what you just did. You didn't even put any time into putting yourself together at all. Like at all. And I used to do the same exact thing. And I told you what comes with that. Not feeling pretty, not feeling good about yourself, being insecure, looking at other women who you find beautiful and then being envious of them. But if you just did what they did, you wouldn't feel that way. You wouldn't feel that way. It wouldn't even be a thought in your head. So what I want to know is, if that is you and something that you're struggling with, well, what are we going to do today to fix it? What is one thing that we can do today to fix it? Let's start with brushing our hair. Let's start with ironing our shirt or throwing it in the dryer. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't iron, but I will throw something in the dryer. I will throw something in the dryer to get the wrinkles out. Okay? Let's brush our hair a little bit. Can we do a little mascara? A little lip? Can we do a little something? A little something. Now, I don't want to hear the excuse of all that costs money. Well, first of all, so does Chipotle, and you be right there. Chipotle costs money, and you be right up in that line. I seen you yesterday. I seen you yesterday. You was there yesterday talking about so you ain't got no money, but you got money for Chipotle. So what are we even talking about at this point? What are we talking about? And it's really not as expensive as you think it is to put yourself together. Certain hairstyles, yes. Yes, certain hairstyles is going to run you a pretty penny. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. It is. Okay? It is. But this, you can still do your hair. You don't have to wear extensions. You can still do your hair. Okay? You could brush it. You could color it yourself. Maybe you have grays. I'm getting grays too. You could color it. You could do something. I personally don't feel like you have to color your hair though. It's crazy. I think the older I get, the more I appreciate like age on a woman. Like when I was younger in my 20s, I'd be like, why would she come out the house with a whole head of gray hair? But honestly, I think as I'm getting older, it's like, that's actually kind of sexy. Like when you put it, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So like, don't even feel like you have to color your hair if you got gray hair. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But the point I'm making is there are things that you can do for yourself. There are things you can do for yourself. And I hate when people say that they can't afford certain stuff. But then these be the same people who are going out to eat every day. Tell me I'm lying. Be the same people going out to eat every day talking about what they can't afford. Well, if you stopped going to Cava every day, you would have some money. Okay? So that kind of was piggybacking off of confidence and just kind of my own journey with confidence. I would say my confidence first started to skyrocket when I quit my job and I started my online business. Okay. That's when I really started to build confidence in myself. And then I built even more confidence when I lost the weight. Because when I first started my online business, you guys, I was still 340 pounds. I was still a very big girl. Okay. The confidence didn't come when I lost the weight. It was when I quit the job. The confidence started coming when I started building my business. That's when it started coming. But once I lost the weight, so first I started the business, then I lost the weight. No, started building the business, then I got my teeth done. Then I lost the weight. And now here we are today. So doing those three things boosted my confidence. Now, do you have to get your teeth done in order to have confidence? No, I just had a really messed up smile. Like my smile, my teeth were straight, but they were extremely yellow. My teeth used to be extremely yellow. I had braces, so my teeth were all straight, but they were yellow as hell. You guys, they weren't just a little off-white. No, they were yellow. They were probably the color of this damn jasmine sign right here in the bottom left corner. Them shits was yellow. They was yellow. Okay. But I used to be so insecure about my teeth. It had got to the point where like when I would laugh, I would cover my mouth. Like I'd be like, like that's what I would do. Because I had got very insecure about my smile. So I changed it. But what I want you guys to understand is I was already feeling good about myself internally at that point. The teeth was just an added bonus. So I want you to get to a point where you're feeling good about yourself internally. Okay. And if you ever do decide to get work down the line when you start making money, whatever, it just is a bonus for you. But the confidence was already built. How? Because you're pouring into yourself. You're showing up for yourself. You're taking care of yourself. That's how that is built. The internal confidence. You ever met somebody? I have, because you guys know I used to do OnlyFans. So, I've had friendships with women who, making money, getting all the procedures, and still insecure as hell. Insecure as hell with the triple BBLs, the big old titties, the little waists, the bundles, had all the aesthetics, but were still insecure as hell. How? Because they never worked on who they were internally. That's how. So the plastic surgeries, that's not going to build the confidence. The confidence comes from within. How do you pour into yourself? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat yourself? How do you pour into yourself? That's what builds the confidence. And then the procedures, that's just the icing on the cake. Okay? That's the message for my ladies. That's the message for the ladies, okay? So yeah. Any more questions on that confidence? But also too, I really want you guys to start working on being around people who you aspire to be like. That's how we grow. We can't stay stagnant. It's okay to get in new circles. It's okay to go to new sides of town. Okay. And a lot of times we're resistant to change. I know I was. I had been thinking about hanging out on the rich side of town for a very long time. I had been thought about that. Okay. But I was resistant towards it because I would say things like, well, what if I don't fit in? I'm already 6'3", by the way, so I'm a very tall girl. So not only am I black, but I tower over people. Like, you're gonna notice me. I can't hide. Like, I can't be a criminal. Okay, I can't be a criminal because I'm gonna be pointed out. I don't blend in. So if I was to go and do something, everybody gonna be like, oh yeah, she was 6'3", right? I'm not normal. So sometimes the height, it's a beautiful thing. I appreciate it, but I still find myself kind of like shrinking in a sense because I was feeling like I wouldn't belong. I wouldn't fit in. I would be standing out. And so I was resistant towards hanging out in a new side of town. I had came up with this idea like months ago, but I just kept putting it off. And I was like, I think I really need to do it. Like, I just need to do it. It's like the seed kept getting planted inside of me. Like, I need to go and start hanging out on the rich side of town. Okay. And it started with getting the gym membership. And I went a few times, but I was kind of like, maybe I'll just kind of alternate between that gym and my home gym, still trying to stay in my comfort zone. Right. But I got to a point where I was like, no, I need to just go to that gym all the time. Like, I need to let go of the home gym and I need to just go to that gym all the time. That's what I need to do. And so that's what I did. And then once I started feeling comfortable doing that, and by the way, everybody there is very friendly, come up to me, speak, very friendly people. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing my grocery shopping over here. I'm gonna start running errands over here. I'm gonna go get an office over here, right? And so now I'm always over there. And it took me a little while to get out of my comfort zone, but once I did, my business started making more money. Is there a correlation? I think it's the energy. It's the energy. It's the way you start to feel about yourself. When you're around money, now your energy is higher. Now you're thinking, okay, how can I get like them? What can I do in my day-to-day to get the results that they're getting? And something else, even though it has nothing really to do with business, something else I will say, when I go to the gym over there, I'm be honest. Most of the women, right? And this is the time frame in which I go. I'm not at the gym all hours of the day. I'm not there first thing in the morning. I'm not there late at night. I'm there mid-morning, early afternoon. Okay. That's when I go. Most of the time, most of the women, I would say about 95% of the women that I see on the rich side of town at that gym, in shape. In shape. Not overweight. Not at all. All in shape. Skinny. Matching sets. Matching sets. They're not in sweatpants. They're not in big oversized t-shirts. No. And these are women, they probably older than me. Some of them definitely older than me, right? These women be like 60, 50s, 40s, probably got grown kids, probably got grandkids. Matching sets, skinny, in shape. When you start to see that, it starts to make you feel like, okay, I got to make sure I'm on my shit. I got to make sure I'm on my shit. I can't let a woman who older than me, you know what I'm saying? Like, to see a woman who was 60 and she in shape and she eating salads and she moving better than you, it got you questioning yourself like, I'm gonna have to become a little different. I'm gonna have to step my shit up, because if she can do it at 60, I definitely don't have no excuse. I ain't got no excuse in the world. She didn't have her kids and she raising grandkids at this point, and I can't even work out. You guys, this is why I'm saying being in a more affluent side of town, it really does change you and your habits. It really does. You start to see things differently. I told you, most of the people on that side of town are white, right? Well, the gym I was going to, my home gym at the time, it was predominantly Black, okay? Let me tell you about the experience at the Black gym, okay? And there were still some white people there, but it was mostly Black people, right? A lot more women overweight, for sure. They still at the gym, so there's no shade. I'm just telling you what I see. On top of that, not everyone's wearing matching sets, okay? Women coming in there with sweatpants, big baggy t-shirts on, bonnets. It's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different vibe. I felt like I fit in over there more. But when you get into spaces where you don't feel like you fit in, it makes you elevate yourself so that you start to fit in. It makes you start looking at the things that you're not doing, and then you start doing it. This is how we grow. This is how we develop. This is why I'm telling you it's important to get out of your comfort zone. This is why I'm telling you it's important to get around people who are doing better than you, okay? I want your day-to-day, just like I want my day-to-day, I want to be around people who are doing better than me. That's my goal every day, whether that's fitness, whether that's finances, whether that's business, whether that's whatever. I want to be around people, maybe they got better credit than me. I want to be around people who are doing better than me. I no longer want to be around people who I'm doing better than. There's no growth there. I've already beat that level. I'm trying to get to a new level. And in order to get to a new level, I'm going to have to do new things and be around new people. There's no growth in your comfort zone. There is no growth in your comfort zone. So I want you to think about that. I really want you to think about that. And I want you to start strategizing. How can you get around people who are doing better than you? How can you plant yourself in new environments? How can you meet new people? And once you figure that out, I want you to start doing it. Start doing it. Okay? All right, you guys, I enjoyed you on this beautiful Wednesday. I'm going to be getting on TikTok Live in a few, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.